The cargo hauler Midwestern Promise drifted dead in space, its hull breached in 17 places. Captain Marcus Thompson floated among the debris, his 7-year-old daughter Emma clutching his hand as their emergency beacon pulsed weakly into the void. The KR Tesh warship materialized like a nightmare, all spines and biomechanical horror, its scanning arrays sweeping across the wreckage with predatory precision. These were the galaxy's apex hunters, beings who had evolved in the crushing gravity of a super-Earth, their exoskeletons harder than reinforced steel, their reflexes faster than anything humanity had encountered. Marcus pulled Emma closer as the boarding pod clamped onto their section. His oxygen was running low. Emma's was worse. The little emergency bubble they'd managed to seal themselves in wouldn't last another hour. "Daddy," Emma whispered, her voice small through the helmet radio. "Is Mr. Buttons okay?" Marcus glanced at the small carrier maglock to his suit. Inside, Emma's pet honey badger, an actual Terran honey badger that she'd somehow convinced her mother to let her keep, was in hibernation mode, its metabolic suppressant keeping it alive in the cold vacuum. "He's fine, sweetheart. He's sleeping." The KR Tesh warriors punched through the hull with casual brutality. 4 of them, each standing nearly 8 feet tall, their compound eyes gleaming with cold intelligence. The lead warrior's translator crackled to life. "Human specimens. Intact. The child will fetch considerable value in the flesh markets. The adult, less so." Marcus felt ice flood his veins. The Galactic Council had outlawed such practices, but out here, beyond the frontier worlds, law meant nothing. "Please," Marcus said, hating how his voice cracked. "She's just a child. Take me. Let her go." The KR Tesh leader tilted its triangular head. "Your species amuses us with these emotional displays. Both of you will serve our purposes. The child's neuroplasticity makes her particularly valuable for cognitive harvesting." They grabbed Emma, tearing her from Marcus's grip. He fought, but a KR Tesh warrior moved with the speed of a striking snake, its armored fist sending Marcus spinning into unconsciousness. Emma screamed as they dragged her toward their ship, her small hand scrabbling at the carrier. "Mr. Buttons. Mr. Buttons." One of the KR Tesh warriors grabbed the carrier, examining it with curiosity. "A pet? How quaint. We'll dissect it for the juvenile's compliance." It opened the carrier. That was its first mistake. The metabolic suppressant had worn off 30 seconds earlier, triggered by Emma's distress pheromones that the honey badger had been evolutionarily designed to detect. What emerged from that carrier wasn't sleeping. It was furious. Honey badgers, as any xenobiologist worth their salt would later note in the incident report, are not normal Earth creatures. They are concentrated spite wrapped in fur and claws, animals that have stared down lions, shrugged off cobra venom, and fought off entire packs of African wild dogs. Evolution had crafted them as nature's middle finger to the concept of predator and prey. Mr. Buttons erupted from the carrier in zero gravity like a furry missile of pure rage. The KR Tesh warrior barely had time to register the movement before 20 razor-sharp claws found the gaps in its exoskeleton. The creature's screech echoed through both ships as Mr. Buttons did what honey badgers do best, he went for the soft spots. Eyes. Joint membranes. The vulnerable neural clusters that the KR Tesh evolved to protect with armor but never expected to be attacked so viciously at such close range. The warrior flailed, trying to crush the small mammal, but honey badgers have loose skin that makes them nearly impossible to grip effectively. Every attempt to grab Mr. Buttons resulted in him twisting around and finding another vulnerable spot to savage. The other 3 KR Tesh warriors moved to assist their companion, their training kicking in. Another mistake. Mr. Buttons used the zero-gravity environment like he'd been born to it, bouncing between warriors with the chaotic grace of barely controlled violence. One warrior tried to shoot him. The plasma bolt missed, struck a fuel line, and suddenly the boarding pod was filling with combustible gas. Emma, somehow having the presence of mind that only children possess in absolute chaos, grabbed a debris fragment and smashed it into the nearest control panel. Emergency protocols engaged. The boarding pod's atmosphere purge activated. The KR-TESH, evolved for high-pressure environments, began to convulse as the pressure dropped catastrophically. Honey badgers, native to Earth's varied climates and notorious for their resilience, could survive in conditions that would kill creatures twice their size. Mr. Buttons kept fighting. By the time Marcus regained consciousness, 2 KR-TESH warriors were dead, their exoskeletons cracked open from the inside. The other 2 had retreated to their ship, sealing the connection. The boarding pod drifted free, its emergency beacon now broadcasting a priority distress signal that the Council couldn't ignore. Emma floated there, holding Mr. Buttons, who was cleaning his claws with the satisfied air of a predator who'd just reminded the universe of Earth's food chain. "Daddy," Emma said calmly, "Mr. Buttons is hungry. Do we have any snacks?" The Council investigation would later note that the KR-TESH warship had limped away at maximum burn, broadcasting a warning to all vessels about the demons of Terra who disguise apocalyptic horrors as children's companions. The incident sparked a brief trend of humans bringing increasingly ridiculous Earth animals as pets into space. It took 3 months and 1 incident involving a cassowary in a space station cafeteria before regulations were finally implemented. But those who'd heard the story knew the truth. Humanity hadn't conquered the stars through superior technology or overwhelming firepower. They'd done it the way they'd survived Earth, by befriending the most unreasonably dangerous creatures they could find and calling them family. And sometimes, just sometimes, those friendships saved lives. Marcus hugged his daughter tight as the rescue ship approached, Mr. Buttons nestled between them, already planning his next nap with the absolute confidence of an apex predator who'd just proven his worth. The galaxy had just learned an important lesson: never corner a human child. You might wake up something worse.